was doing a series of album cover art exhibitions called The Classics. And what that was every month I would focus on a different genre, whether it was hip-hop. I think I was doing really like quarterly. So I focused on different genres of music that I like. So hip-hop, rock, reggae, soul, and jazz was the last one. And so, what I was doing with these events were, working with different DJs. I would showcase, different albums from that particular genre. Albums that I thought were dope looking, as well as, some of the more, let's say, prominent, albums for that particular genre as well. I'd also have Two-Tone who would create a mixtape, so, the whole basis of the project was the exhibitions were not just visual, but you also had these other, elements that helped to further educate people. I wanted to do something, pretty special because, it's a genre that holds a special place in my heart. There's this cat by the name of Logan Mills, and he is unique in that he created a whole series of jazz-inspired Wu-Tang album covers. And, cat has always been in the back of my mind. I was like, man, I'd love to work with this cat some way, shape, form, or fashion. And, for the interview, I thought, why not? The idea popped in my head about, wow, what about a jazz Wu-Tang mix? I had never heard of anything like that myself. I went back to Two-Tone, said, look, instead of doing a jazz mixtape, what about doing a Wu-Tang-jazz mixtape?
When you first mentioned it, I was kind of like, oh, yo, that sounds dope. And then the second thought was like, now I have no idea what that's going to sound like. When you hear the project, you hear how it works. I didn't want anything on here to sound like it was, when you listen to it, there's something completely out of place. As you can hear on the track behind us, like it sounds like they're really rapping to these tracks, to these originals, these samples. When you really like think about the cadence of like certain jazz songs and just certain rhythmic and melodic devices that dope, phenomenal MCs use, with things like arpeggio and syncopation, the way they go up and down, like they do it in a way that almost gives a feel of like a jazz instrument, playing, almost rapping over the rhythm section. It's like Coltrane riffing through his over what his quintet's doing.
Excuse me as I kiss the sky, sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rhyme. What? Wanna die for their culture, stalk the dead body like a vulture, the Callion, blacker than your
Alley show, we had nearly packed house for both shows, 8 and 10 o'clock show. Sold out of CDs and just people didn't know what to expect when they came, because all you see on the flyer is that there's a DJ backed by a band, and how many people have seen that? And it's the very first time too in the history of Blues Alley that a DJ has been the headline at Blues Alley. So Wu-Tang was in the house, well, coming from us. Wu-Tang was in the house.
As a matter of speaking, yeah.
Yeah.
like a mushroom cow shit. I'm taking it just to get the ultimate high. Excuse me as I kiss the sky, sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full